Hello, good evening, and welcome to Thingamajig's Racing Channel. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the Virtual Racers Club, checking out their new-ish season. We're into round 2, so the Crown Masters Trophy. We're at round 2, and it's at St. Croix, ladies and gents. Yes, let me tell you in their words about the championship. It would be so much clearer and better. So, the Crown Masters Trophy is a Virtual Racers Club championship using the Toyota Crown Athlete G 2013 exclusively. Racers will compete across 6 rounds, with each round location to be selected randomly before each round, consisting of a sprint and feature race. With limited tuning available, strategy will be key. Drivers will be subject to spot checks to ensure compliance with the rules. Anyone found to be in breach will be DQ'd from the round. So there's a long list of all things they want you to add to your car, but at the end of the day, they've got the bop off. The PP is at 630. The brake horsepower is at 350. The weight is at 1,220 kilograms, and the BB is on. And there is some limited settings. Right then, so that's the rules and the regulations. Then if I look for some info, I found it. It was above here. Yeah, here we go. So, yeah, we're at St. Croix. They did 10 minutes of qualifying on the sports soft tyres only. Then we are going to witness a sprint race of 15 minutes on the Sport Soft only tyre, and then we'll move on to a feature race of 40 minutes, which is a reverse from the previous results, a rolling start, and 2 compounds, sorry, I read it wrong. 2 compounds must be used. Pit lane is closed for first and last 5 minutes of the race, and it's a free choice of those 2 compounds. Sports soft, sports mediums, and sports hards. And in the feature race, the tyres will be on ×5 deg, and the fuel will be on ×3. Okay, we're not finished yet. Hang with me. I've got I might not have a table, actually. I haven't ever looked. They're on their 3rd round, so nothing's showing up now. Season standings. Oh, here we go. Oh, from round 1. Yeah, that's all right. They haven't just taken away the old table. Bless them. Thank the Lord. So, Skyjacker is at the top of the table on 34 points, with Big Dan in 2nd on 29 points. We have Electric in 3rd on 27 points, with Koi Carp in 4th on 25 points. JTX is 5th on 22 points, with Bazza in 6th on 21 points. Jammy Dodger is 7th on 20 points, ahead of Pat on 8th on 19 points, and Shadow Rider is 9th on 14 points. And Paul Power and the halves are yet to show, as far as I know, in that round anyway. Right then, now we can concentrate on what we got. We've got rid of all the admin there. We've done all the bump. We'll have a look at our chat. Aloha with a wave. And Sky in the chat saying, good day, fine sir. Hope that your world is well and that you are splendid with the aura of a God within your soul. Well, wow, heavy. And Skyjack saying, don't delete the tables now, bud. He doesn't delete the tables now, just for you and your convenience. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. It's nice anyway. People can look back and see movement and how they've proceeded through the championship. Okay, so we've got the grid. They qualify for 10 minutes. They're on the Sports Soft tyres. They're in the Toyota Crown Athlete. So, and we are at St. Croix. So, everything is good. Everything's good, Skyjacker, in answer to your first, question or blessing, whatever it was, that it was heavy. Right then, on pole position then, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, he's here. Hang on. It's Big Dan. Big Dan has landed, ladies and gentlemen, around St. Croix. Now, remember, they don't get any chance to practice. They get an hour, I think, before the race. The lobby opens, and I assume that the random draw is at the lobby opening. So they only get around 60 minutes of practice. Even Stevens throughout the field here at St. Croix, and Big Dan has has done the deed, got it on pole. Skyjacker championship leader is in second place. A threat, a danger, a worry, a thorn in the Big Dan's side. Skyjacker there on the front row. Third place, we see what Shadow Rider's all about. He joined late in round one, just the feature race, and missing the sprints. But he did rather well in that. So we'll see what our boy Shadow Rider can do from third place on the grid. Fourth then is the it's the Bazinator, sorry. Bazza with his two-tone car. One side for the drift, the other side for the serious Ferrari shenanigans. Then in fifth place, it is Koi Carp, representing, ladies and gentlemen, carrying the colours of the club. And why not? Fantastic. There it is, the Virtual Racers Club Motorsports livery in all of its finest yarns, ladies and gents. So that's Koi Carp in fifth place. Sixth, it's the Jammy of Dodgers. Looking very splendid indeed. Seventh on the grid is Pat in our very sexy looking Red Bull Toyota. And then we have Electric in eighth. I tell you, everyone's shown up, haven't they, in their liveries? Fantastic stuff. And then in ninth, we have JTX. And I could not contain my excitement last round seeing JTX back on the game. And he said it's not like he went off somewhere racing. He's just had a very long break from the racing. And now he's back, which is lovely to see. It might take a while to find his feet, but as soon as he does, he is a fast boy. There you go then, ladies and gentlemen. It's a sprint race, 15 minutes around St. Croix. And on the Sports Soft tyres, let's see how they get on. The lights are on, and it is time to go racing, ladies and gents. Big Dan off to a great start. Oh no, who's that? It's Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider's off in the toilet. He wasn't there at the start. And Skyjacker takes over the lead from Big Dan. And Skyjacker in there like a flash. No messing about. Big Dan then in second place. Then we've got Koi Carp in third. We've got Bazza. No, Bazza's moving on. Bazza and Koi neck and neck as they head up to the sharp corner. And Koi Carp's got Bazza's got the inside line, sorry. So Bazza then gets the high ground and takes the third place away from Koi Carp. Jammy Dodger then in fifth, following around. Koi Carp back on the attack. It looks like Big Dan having a look at Skyjacker, but nothing is doing there. Bazza is sliding the Toyota around. It seems to be quite big, fat and heavy. These guys have got a handful on their hands as Koi Carp nearly loses the crown through that corner there. Jammy Dodger on the move though. Jammy Dodger getting a upper hand from Koi Carp's wayward rear derriere, and now Jammy Dodger moving himself up and into fourth place. Koi Carp fifth, Electric in sixth, JTX in seventh. And he's managed to get past the Pat, but these cars are quite wayward. Pat with the pumpkin hat, very good. I like it. This one, you can't see it very well. Oh, Pat though, very slidey Toyota underneath him. Shadow Rider still in the toilet. He's still in the bog, ladies and gents. So Skyjacker, there's going to be yellow flags when they come around to the start straight. But Skyjacker then, so far, leads the way from Bazza. Big Dan slid down. Big Dan with damage at the front end of his car. So Big Dan has had a meeting with Barry R and is now languishing down in third place. And Koi Carp, who was overtaken by the Dodger, has managed to get himself back up and into fourth place. Electric is joining the party, and Electric crawling all over the back of that Jammy Dodger like a fly in the summer. If you leave your Jammy Dodgers on the plate. JTX keeping pace, and Pat just behind, waiting for his moment. Shadow Rider still crawling down to that first corner, as now they are all on that start straight. and there is going to be a huge game of avoidance in the braking zone. Should be a safety car. No, Shadow Rider is out of the way now, and Skyjacker then goes through, and Bazinator there in second with Big Dan in third, Koi Cup in fourth, and we've got Jammy Dodger going wild on the grass, and Electric gets through. Electric up into fifth place now, with Jammy Dodger finding the Toyota a little bit slightly heavy in that corner, but now Jammy Dodger comes back under braking, but Electric holds his line. JTX in seventh, having a mad battle with the Pat at the moment. Pat trying to come back into this race. Skyjack saying glad to hear it. Skyjack saying random draw is 15 minutes before lobby practice is 30 minutes. There you go. Adam in the chat saying hey up, hello, hi Skyjacker and Thingy. Hi up Adam, hope you're well. Muddy saying good afternoon, good sir. Well, hello. There's yellow flags. Oh no, it's a Baz, ladies and gentlemen. A Baz has gone wrong somewhere along the way. Second place, little knock with the barrier, a big scrape, and then facing the wrong way. It's the story of every pro sim racer's life, ladies and gentlemen, and then he decides to just ram it into the barrier because he didn't hit enough. He missed a spot, so he decided to ram it. Shadow Rider still in the bog. Skyjacker out there in the lead at the moment. Big Dan back into second with Koi Cup up and into a podium position. Electric now in fourth with the Jammy Dodger chasing him down in fifth. We've got Pat now up to sixth with seventh going to JTX. So Pat's got himself past JTX somewhere along the way, and Pat now on his merry way and going to attack the Dodger, I imagine. But JTX there keeping a close eye on the rear derriere of the Pat, looking for a moment to pounce. Now JTX finding his pace, settling into the car. Lovely slide from JTX onto the apex, and still not enough to go for the attack on the Pats. Heavy braking now here as they make their way around Pat and JTX very close on the track. Bazza will be trying to play catch up, but he's some way behind them now in a small sprint race. There's only 10 minutes or so to go, and JTX though absolutely slinging Crown athletes. Oh, too much for the JTX. Into the barrier he goes, and Pat now gets a bit of breathing space. Jammy Dodger chasing down the Electric, whom he's chasing down the Koi car, but they've spaced themselves out quite nicely. Big Dan, a chasm of space betwixt him and Skyjacker. Shadow Rider now back on the road and in the way. No, he's off the road and out the way. And he must be in there. Something must be happening. He's wiggling around. So maybe someone's got a disconnected wheel, something's gone wrong. Oh, hazards are on, he's pressed pause. Now it's just in auto drive, I'd say. But Shadow Rider having some kind of nightmare. Skyjacker, fastest man on track at the moment, and leaving Big Dan behind this time. Koi Carp in third with Electric in fourth, and Jammy Dodger, 2:26.2 for Jammy Dodger last time around, a 2:24.6. Oh, now Electric closing in on Koi Carp. Did Koi Carp have a small issue? And now Electric, he closed up on the Koi, but Koi seems to have been able to scramble away from that incident. And yeah, there's still the same gappage between them. Pat and JTX still going at it. JTX going for the move, but Pat's got the inside line. If he can just brake a little later, and no, he cannot. And JTX now slinging Toyota, ladies and gentlemen, getting himself up and into sixth place, and Jammy Dodger not that far away. The group of racing is still just slightly ahead. A couple of mistakes and he's gonna be, he's got to stay off the barrier though. He's gonna be with them. Pat in seventh. Is the Baz catching these guys up? It doesn't seem like it. Looks like he's even further away now, is the Baz, and his races with Shadow Rider today, who is still on automatic drive, I think. So something went very wrong in the Shadow Rider's cockpit. Oh man, my hot brew is still a little too hot, but I really want to drink it. Skyjacker then out in the lead with Big Dan chasing him down. Big Dan unable to match Skyjacker's lap times, as Skyjacker comes over the line again as we get to around halfway in this race. And Skyjacker with a 23.7 and Big Dan 23.0, 7 tenths faster. And but that's just a small drop in the ocean of the size of track that this is. Koi Car then 24.4 against Electric's 24.0, still fractions of time when the overall lap time is a 2:20 something. Jamie Dodger doing okay now. JTX starting to pull away from the Pat now. Doesn't have the distractions that he had when he was racing Pat, and he can really start excuse me, concentrating on the car's characteristics as he goes into the corners. When you're racing, it's hard to judge the car because you're too concentrating on not hitting your fellow driver and just trying to not hit a barrier. You're concentrating on the racing, not the car. But now he's on his own. He can see how the car feels in the corners, where the braking is. He can feel the speed. And he's doing very well with it. I think he is closing in on Electric, who's dropped behind the Jammy Dodger. So Electric must have made a mistake somewhere along the way. He was chasing down the Koi Cup, and now Koi has got it all breezy so far. Big Dan trying to close the gap on Skyjacker. He needs Skyjacker to make a mistake, and that is very unlikely. And Adam saying, "Hey up, muddy." So Skyjacker, for now, absolutely landing it. Leader of the championship, and out there leading the second round sprint race. Fantastic stuff. Big Dan, the creator of the championship, and getting owned in it. Koi Carp in third. Great drive for Koi Carp so far. We're up to 9 minutes into the race, so 2/3 in, and it's looking very, I mean, the only person that can ruin Koi Carp's race right now is Koi Carp. As long as he stays in between the curbs, he should be fine for that third place. Jammy Dodger, solid fourth there, stuck with it, seen others drop off, and just stayed on course. Steady Eddie, and coming in fourth is a great drive. Electric risking a bit this lap and losing a heck of time, and dropping behind at Jammy Dodger. There you go, in the 32s. And JTX closing in. JTX absolutely solid lap times at the moment, 27.3 against Pat's 27.6. So Pat coming for it. JTX though suddenly slowing down, hazards on, and JTX is out. Oh my word, JTX has gone. That was a pure shock. Pure shock from JTX. Starting to do well, get on top of the car. And Muddy in the chat saying, genuinely can't remember where I finished in either race, but I know I had lots of fun either way. There you go. It's not about where you finish, ladies and gents. It's about the fun that you take away from it. Skyjacker then out in the lead with Big Dan in second. Both of them getting purple sectors. Both of them finding more pace in the Toyota. Then we have Koi Carp in third. Solid run at the moment with a huge gap ahead of him, behind him, sorry, to Jammy Dodger. Jammy Dodger may have some fears of the Electric, because Electric does have pace. And Jammy Dodger, he's keeping it nice and clean at the moment. No mistakes, no aggressive moves. Staying calm. And Electric there in fifth place, with Pat now up to sixth with JTX's departure, and Pat doing a little bit of wall riding with an out of control Toyota under him. Bazza in seventh. Is he going to catch up with Pat? No, because that's Shadow Rider. He's just about to do a lap. It looks like Shadow Rider never got into the cockpit of this one. And Skyjacker still leading with a lovely distance from Big Dan. I think the closest battle really we're looking at is Electric on Jammy Dodger, and it looks like Electric's fallen back even further from the Dodger, and it might be Pat that closes in on Electric. Oh, Electric's way out of control as they come through their electric, pushing the car. He's doing a bit of testing, ladies and gents, for the next race. He knows 5th place. He's not going to catch up 4th again unless 4th throws it off the road. So he's testing the boundaries. He's testing the limits of where the Toyota can go. And he's 4 seconds off of his best time, but he is getting some important data while he drives around. Jammy Dodger for now. Nice pleasant drive for 4th place. Pat in 6th, and he's pretty safe from the Baz, as the Baz comes across Shadow Rider just up ahead. But Shadow Rider, we believe, is in auto drive, so Baz should be able to get by him pretty easily. Bazza now really starting to put some lap time in. And he's had 2 quite poor laps. I don't know what happened on lap 3, but he did a 4:40. Maybe he went into auto drive for a bit. So the Baz then completing lap 4. Gets his fastest lap of the race so far, 24.7.4, but still Big Dan and Skyjacker doing 22s, and 22.2 there for Big Dan. Is there still time for him to close up on Skyjacker? Seems not. Seems like Skyjacker's got this one all wrapped up. He's got control. He doesn't have to be rash. He doesn't have to drive silly. He can stay in his comfort zone here. Big Dan, it's all on Big Dan to do the push-in. And Big Dan is doing some pushing. But how far can he push until it's too far? Again, 2 tenths up. But, yeah. Oh, Big Dan, see, really is trying to test the limits of the Toyota there. We saw it skidding around the corner. And yeah, Big Dan really is pushing to the very edge. Hopefully he's not going to fall off. Skyjacker then crosses the line, 22.4, and a 22.4 also for Big Dan. That big slide costing him. Koikap in 3rd, solid drive for 3rd place there, and he can still see the leaders. Koikap can. So if Big Dan or Skyjacker decide to sling it off the road, Koikap will be there to pick that up. Jammy Dodger in 4th, seems safe from electric. Is he though? Because electric now starting to do some very competitive lap times. Skyjack saying, yeah, he does. He needs to beat Big D's fastest lap. Oh, Skyjacker needs to push. All right, he doesn't want. I thought the points would be enough. Championship drive, but it seems like Skyjacker, he doesn't want to let Big Dan have that fastest lap. I mean, he is only a 10th off it, 22.3. So we'll see. Purples, but oof, tight purples. Big Dan chasing that lead, but Skyjacker chasing the fastest lap. Koikap there in 3rd. It's the final lap, so everyone is safe in their places unless they throw it off. Electric is trying to come in strong to the Dodger. And Skyjacker going around to another sector. Ooh, it's thousandths, ladies and gents. Big Dan, Bazza's crossed the line in 7th place. We missed Big Dan's sector, but Skyjacker, as long as he's pushing as well, I think he's not going to lose that spot. Shadow Rider then crossing the line. Very lackluster race for Shadow Rider. I'm not sure he was even with us, and that's him done in 8th place. His points though, it is points, ladies and gents. Another sector. Skyjacker, oh, he's found 2 tenths on the Big Dan now. Big Dan not going for fastest lap this time, but hoping Skyjacker throws it off the road, which he hasn't just yet. Keeping it very much together is Skyjacker. As he comes around the final corner, and it looks like Skyjacker, not from pole, but from 2nd, takes the win. Great drive and the fastest lap at the end. And Big Dan losing out on all fronts in 2nd. Koikap coming home for a fine podium. Take a boo, my son. And some good points there on the board for Koikap. Jammy Dodger, cracking drive 4th place, and he must be chuffed with that. He's got to be happy with that one as he crosses the line. Electric in 5th. Electric having adventures out there in the Toyota, and Pat losing his race buddy. Him and JTX were having an absolute banger, but JTX bailing for one reason or another, and the Pat then crossing the line to round it out in 6th. Bazza finishing in 7th after his huge off, and then a really bad lap on lap 3, and Shadow Rider, I'm not sure he even was here. So that is race 1, the sprint race, ladies and gentlemen. Skyjacker takes all with the fastest lap and the win. And Big Dan, all he got was pole and 2nd. Koi Carp in 3rd, rounding out the podium. Great stuff. Jamie Dodger, Electric, Pat, Bazza, and the Rider of Shadows. Right then, we've got the feature race to do. They've got to use 2 compounds in that one. And strategy is going to be a big deal, it would seem. So let me get this all loaded up for you guys, and let's hope all the liveries have done. I'm sure I did my cookies before I came on air, so we should be all right. But I have just downloaded all of the maps for Arc. So my space isn't probably very big. Right then, let's have a look. Let's get the list up. It's a reverse anyway. It's no surprise of the grid. It's a reverse of the finishing order of the first race. But we can see what tyres they choose to start with. Shadow Rider going for the mediums. Bazza going for the softs. We've got Pat on the mediums in 3rd. We've got Electric starting on the mediums in 4th. The Dodger starting in 5th on the mediums. We've got Koi Carp on the softs starting in 6th. We've got Big Dan in 7th on the mediums. And Skyjacker also opting for those medium tyres. Now, big question is Shadow Rider with us? Do we need a seance? And here we go. I think we're getting it here. Koi saying Skyjacker appears to have tamed the beast. He does seem to be on top of her. Adam saying, someone wants all the glory. Skyjacker saying, not glory, just fastest laps. Skyjacker saying, Shadow shopping turned up at the end of quali. Well, then Tesco's can wait, can they not? Adam saying shopping ruined a race. Damned unlucky. Skyjacker saying you should always eat your cookies. Healthy snacks. Yes, you're right. Right then, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. So Shadow Rider. I bet he didn't put the shopping away, though. Just took the bags and dumped them in the kitchen. His poor wife there. She'll be slamming cupboards and all sorts, thinking, why am I doing this on my own? Because for some reason, ladies and gents, wives don't understand it can wait. They seem to think things need to be done now. The shopping's turned up, needs to be put away, but it can sit in the kitchen for an hour whilst we race, and then we'll do it after. But no, it's never good enough. Okay, then, brace yourselves. 40 minutes of St. Croix, and some good strategies. Big Dan and Skyjacker on par with each other with the cars. They seem to be a little bit above in the lap times. I didn't see anyone else in the 22s there, but the rest of the field still finding the cars. Anything can happen, and it probably will. The lights are on, and now we are racing. Let's go. Shadow Rider off to a great start this time. Bazza as well. Bazza more than a match for Shadow Rider's start. They're neck and neck as they head up to the first corner. Bazza just getting himself ahead. He's on those sports soft tyres, and they're working for him. Beautiful stuff, but he's a little bit wide. Excuse me. And Shadow Rider then coming back at the Baz after Baz having a wheel on the grass. Pat in 3rd. He's on those medium tyres being pursued by Koi Carp there. Koi Carp a little wide into the corner, but still gets the move done on Pat. Back into 3rd for the Koi. Pat in 4th with Electric in 5th. Jamie Dodger in 6th. We've got the Big Dan in 7th ahead of Skyjacker. It's a long race and Big Dan and Skyjacker know it. No funny moves early doors. Jammy Dodger in 6th. He's watching Electric lumber around ahead of him. These cars really do lister when they go through the corners. Bazzer's fighting tooth and nail there just to hold on to that third. Coy's up to 2nd now. So who have we dropped? Who was up there with Shadow? It was Bazza, wasn't it? Bazzer's in 3rd, so Coy's got past Baz. That's what's happened there, and Baz looks like he's just been knocked by the Pat. And Pat then... Oh, he's got no damage on, so maybe not. Maybe I just saw it wrong, but Bazza then meeting with Barrier again, but he has got some damage on the rear where I thought Pat had given him a thump. And Pat then struggling with the Toyota. It's so heavy. And Shadow Rider out there in the lead, looking for some big points. Koi Carp in 2nd with Electric in 3rd. See Big Dan now up to 4th with Skyjacker in 5th. Jammy Dodger slipping behind him in 6th. Pat with his moment with the Baz slipping down into 7th, and the Baz there in 8th place. And Koi Carp then, can he mount an attack on the Rider of Shadows? Shadow Rider, he got 3rd on the grid in qualifying, but he hasn't had the 15-minute race practice that Koi Carp has been able to do. Koi Carp also on the soft tyre, coming in strong against the Rider of Shadows. We've got movement here. Bazza and Pat have redressed. I think Pat slowed down to let Baz through, and it looks like Jammy Dodger having an issue. Jammy Dodger having a bit of an issue. He's got damage at the back, so he must have had a small spin. And now Bazza is up to 6th behind Skyjacker. Big Dan going into the attack for Electric. Electric feeling the pressure in 3rd place as Big Dan and Skyjacker come at the same time. Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider has lost position to Koi. Koi is up and in the lead now. Koi Carp on the soft tyres. Big squeals, and it's the Electric losing the rear end of the Toyota. Easily done. It looks like Big Dan's also had an issue. Where's Big Dan? Oh my, Big Dan, I don't know what's happened to him, but he's fallen right to the back. Oh, it was Big Dan and Electric coming together. And Big Dan then waiting for Electric to get going, and the field goes by. So Skyjacker now is up into 3rd, chasing down Shadow Rider, and his closest competitor has been neutralised. He's in 8th place behind Electric, and it's a long race. Big Dan's trying to tell himself, but it's a big fall. It's a big cost for him in this championship run. Pat now as a 3-second penalty. What did you do to deserve that, Pat? You're a very naughty boy. Jammy Dodger then in 5th with the Baz up and into 4th place with Skyjacker in 3rd. Shadow Rider in 2nd. Shadow Rider just staying with the plan. He knows Koi Carp's on the soft tyres. He's going to have to pit earlier. Shadow Rider has just got to stick to his guns and stay in the sight of Koi Carp for later in the race, for when he gets the soft tyre on. Skyjacker going faster than anyone. Well, it's the 2nd lap, so everyone's going to be getting purples. And the Baz then looked like he was done and dusted, and look, in 4th. In 4th, chasing down the winner of sprint race 1. Well, first sprint race, this sprint race of this, round 2. The hot brew has been downed. It is down. Bogey down. So Koi Carp, at the moment, driving. Ooh, a little rub with the wall. A little nestle up to the wall there as he comes around the corner. No, nothing serious. Nothing to concern yourself with. And Koi Carp getting on with the business of building up a buffer now. That's interesting. Sky has gone into the pits. We've done the 5 minutes. And Skyjacker, early doors, has gone into the pits to get rid of the medium tyres. So he must feel that the fuel and the softs can go all the way in this race. Big Dan as well coming in to get rid of his sports mediums. So interesting strategies being laid down here. Koikart Shadow Rider stayed out with his mediums, but he's had an issue and he's hit a wall. He's lost a few seconds, and Bazza now on his softs is continuing on, and I imagine Bazza then and Koi will be driving up to the last 5 minutes, getting in the pits before the pit lane closes to put on those mediums for the last 5 minutes of the race, if that is the way it's going. We'll have to keep an eye on how the tyre wear is. Electric, he's on the mediums, he's staying with them, feels he's got a little more to go on them. Pat as well on the mediums. Sky then back out on a sports soft tyre and a full tank of fuel. Dodger's gone onto a full tank of fuel as well, and Big Dan. So these guys, I feel, think they can get these tyres and fuel all the way to the end. Oh, and it's going wrong for Shadow Rider again, and the Baz, look at him rise, ladies and gentlemen. How he rises. Which is weird, because jumping out of aeroplanes is his business, but he's rising at the moment. He's more used to falling than he is going up through the ranks. So Koikart then out there in the lead. Solid drive, got a huge gap. Nothing can go wrong. He's driving all the way to virtually the end. 35 minutes is where he's aiming at before he's going to make a pit stop, we believe, but that's a long way for that fuel tank to go, and he's getting through the fuel. So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, maybe 10 minutes it's halfway, 20 minutes. Yeah, no, maybe the fuel's fine. They're 7 minutes in, and they're not quite halfway. If they're at halfway at 10 minutes, then all is good with the fuel, possibly. Well, that's 20 minutes worth of fuel, which is not good for the guys who pitted earlier. Where's Sky? Sky's got past Pat already. So it might be a double stop for some of these guys, because I don't know if that fuel's going to get there this early in the race. Big Dan closing in on the Dodger, looking to turn his race around after his collision with Electric, who's still going. He's in fourth at the moment, chasing down Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider's had a couple of blips, they could be called. A blip here and there on his plan. Oh, Bazza's had a blip as well. Bazza losing the Toyota underneath him. He must be absolutely screaming blue murder in that car, and really slating that Toyota off, and probably having a pop at Big Dan as well, saying, why this car? Why this fat limo style piece of Shadow Rider then closing in on Baz. The race is here, there and everywhere, and that is something nice, not stepping out of the norm with the Group 3s and the Group 4s, using an actual road car, and it does kick up a bit of randomness. Not for Skyjacker, you think he's in a Group 4 car or 3, wouldn't you? He's the way he's driving that. Absolutely solid, he's got it under control. The car control in Skyjacker is phenomenal, and Big Dan losing points today, one fears, in that championship battle. And Big Dan then trying to gain on the Dodger, but the Dodger we saw from the sprint race, he's also in very good control of the Toyota. He has learnt the characteristics of the machine, and he seems to be reveling in a bit of a heavy, loosey-goosey, low grip vehicle. Where Pat, he loves the aero and tight suspension that the Group 3s and the 4s bring. He's finding this car a little wayward, but if you're a late breaker, which I suspect Pat is, if you're a master of the late break situation, then yeah, you're going to struggle in these cars. These cars, you're going to have to be on those brakes. Big Dan's made the move. It was subtle because we didn't even see it against Jammy Dodger, And now Big Dan honing in on Pat there. And Jamie Dodger in the 26ers with Big Dan on the 23s at the moment. Pat's up ahead, 31. So, but he is on those medium tyres. Skyjacker, a 24.4. And that's going to annoy him. That Big Dan's a second and a half nearly faster than him on that lap. Electric, still on the mediums, falling back towards Skyjacker as he finds no grip whatsoever. And we suspect these guys are trying to one-stop it. Koikarp, I imagine he's just going to take those softs for as long as he can into the race. If he can get to 20 minutes, then yeah, it's only one stop for him. It looks like the fuel will make the distance for halfway for a one-stop strategy. So those that start on softs, they're going to try and get that one stop to work for them. Shadow Rider as well, I suspect, going for the one-stop strategy. His fuel's very good at the moment. Skyjacker, I fear he's going to have to make another stop. He's got himself past Electric now. So Skyjacker, I think, is going to go for a double hit on the softs. I'm pretty sure of it. The fuel won't go, will it? It's a 40-minute race, and he's already through a quarter of it. It does look like the other guys are about on course to run out of fuel at 20 minutes. So yeah, I think there's some out there going for a two-stop strategy. Electric losing the back again, and he's going to be getting very angry with that Toyota. You've got to calm down, Electric. Cool your boots. Skyjack saying this car is fantastic when you can get on top of it. I think the biggest difference in this is tuning and finding a setup that works for you. Koikarp saying, if you can master the rear end, I think you're golden. So yeah, this car has character. That's sometimes the problem with the Group 4s and the Group 3s. The bop goes on and the car just loses whatever character it used to have, and it just doesn't feel like anything. So yeah, these guys breaking new ground, learning new things. Although they did the Porsche last season, and that is technically a road car, but I think it does have a little bit more aero and a bit more of a racing package. But they've added a racing package to it, so these cars should be. They do look a little loose. The suspension just looks like it could be needs stiffening up a little bit on some of them. Koikarp though leads the way. Still, the soft tyres holding well. A little rub with the barrier just to say hello. Shadow Rider. He's settling down now. Lap 3 he had a blip, but he's starting to settle down into a nice rhythm. Skyjacker flying at the moment, a 23.3 from him. Big Dan's up to 4th already. Big Dan making big moves, but Electric there being in his way now. This is where we had the issue last time, and Big Dan this time gets by with no contact, and now Big Dan has got a chasm, not that big a gap really, to catch up with Skyjacker. But Skyjacker, he's driving smart at the moment. He's not using up half the fuel that Big Dan is. So Skyjacker, I suspect, not chasing fastest laps right now, but trying to ease that car as far into the race to give himself options, I imagine. See what options he can have. But Big Dan, he's just throttling the hell out of it to try and gain ground. He is Max Verstappening this race, ladies and gentlemen, caring nothing about strategy. He's just gunning it. Electric then struggling on those medium tyres, trying to get to halfway point or beyond. Looking at his fuel, very good fuel, but the medium tyres are not fun for him. Shadow Rider's gone in, not quite halfway. He's got good fuel, so maybe he feels he can get the soft tyre all the way to the end from here. Very good fuel. You know, I must have called it wrong. They got to like a quarter of a tank at about, I mean, they were nearly at half a tank. I thought they were going to use a full tank up after 20 minutes, but Shadow Rider there has made great gains. He's not filled right up, so he must feel he can get to the end of this race with that on board, with still 25 minutes on the clock. Skyjack saying, my alter ego is never far from making an appearance though. Hey, I have not spoke his name, and I've not needed to so far. We're leaving him in the past. So Skyjacker, at the moment, solid drive, looking after fuel. And I may have got the fuel all wrong, but the way it was burning down on some of these guys, it did look like by the time they got to 20 minutes halfway in the race, the fuel tanks would be done. But Shadow Rider has done very well with his fuel tank. Who hasn't pitted? Electric and Coy. See, Electric's doing really well with his fuel, but he's losing a lot of ground. He's got Jammy Dodger now coming across him. Has Jammy Dodger pitted? I don't think he has. So Jammy Dodger and Shadow Rider, whom has just pitted. So Shadow Rider is the one who feels, whoa, very tight stuff there in amongst all of it, but Shadow Rider does go for the move on the Dodger. Pat at the moment, he's just made a pit stop onto the soft tyres, so yeah, I must have called it wrong with the fuel. Koikarp looking for a one-stopper. Oh, Koikarp's just made a small mistake. How far ahead of Skyjacker is he? Not a pit stop far ahead, I can tell thee that. And Big Dan behind Skyjacker. So Koikarp now going into the pits. And I'm not sure, I'm not sure he's going to struggle. That fuel's going to be tight for him at the end. Skyjacker, but I might be wrong. I've really misread the fuel on this. I think I remember that last race, I really thought the fuel wasn't going to make halfway, and it went more than halfway. So they might have to ramp up their fuel usage. I think they're making it last too easy. So Skyjacker then retakes the lead. I think this might be the first time he's led the race, sorry. And Adam saying, looks like racing these was a lot of fun. Yes, Koikarp was saying earlier on, he couldn't even remember where he finished. All he remembered is he had an absolute blast. So Koi's back out of the pits in second place, soft tyres, full tank of fuel, and we'll see if he can get that all the way to the end then. He didn't quite get halfway on the fuel down and felt that he had to make scene if he can get the fuel to the end. Big Dan, they pitted very